Today, we are going to tell a story that begins in a tunnel, stretches deep into Zhongnanhai, and sends shockwaves through the entire Chinese Communist Party military system. A single deafening explosion inside Beijing's 7th Ring Road tunnel did not merely ignite fire and smoke, it blew open a chain of baffling reports, leaks, and power undercurrents that official narratives refuse to acknowledge. These stories circulate online through whispers, fragments, and mutual verification among insiders and observers, an alternative version hidden beneath the surface. Today, we piece these fragments back together to examine the hidden storyline behind one explosion. On the night of December 17, 2025, the Doya Tunnel on Beijing's southern 7th Ring Road was supposed to be nothing more than an ordinary highway tunnel. That night, however, it suddenly became the most sensitive black hole in the country. Don't miss the next drop, subscribe and hit the bell. A liquefied gas tanker crashed and exploded. In theory, such accidents happen in China every year. But this one was different. Flames shot into the sky. More than 20 vehicles were destroyed, reduced to twisted metal. Smoke and dust swirled inside the tunnel, refusing to dissipate. And yet, official media fell completely silent, no full report from start to finish, not a single authoritative explanation. Instead, the internet exploded first. Some said, dozens of cars were trapped inside, there was no way to escape. Others mourned, my brother was only 37. They couldn't even find his body, only 2 fragments of bone. Still others said, the tunnel collapsed. The fire burned for 2 days. The scene was hell itself. These messages seeped out through cracks in the information blockade, forming a picture more terrifying than official silence itself. Just as people were desperately trying to understand what had happened, another force moved in. Many netizens suddenly received phone calls from people claiming to be Hebei Highway Traffic Police, demanding that all related videos be deleted from their phones. When questioned about badge numbers, identities, or sources, the callers became evasive. One even blurted out a profanity before hanging up. It felt as though someone was urgently trying to erase these revelations from the internet. This behavior was stranger than the accident itself. The most shocking revelation emerged 5 days later. By December 22, U.S. Eastern Time, public discourse abruptly escalated. According to leaked casualty lists, several of the dead were affiliated with Xi Jinping's special security detail, some allegedly responsible for special tasks, widely rumored to be body double protection. Thus, the first narrative began spreading. This was not an accident. It was aimed at Xi Jinping. Some self-media commentators and Twitter bloggers even claimed that one of Xi's stand-ins had been killed in the explosion. Those familiar with Beijing's geography know that the southern 7th Ring Road is not just a transportation route, it is the first defensive line protecting the capital. It lies close to Baoding and is surrounded by Beijing garrison troops, logistics bases, and military ammunition depots. These places appear quiet on the surface but are riddled with invisible tripwires. Early rumors claimed that a special security unit tasked with close protection of Xi Jinping was moving from Baoding toward Zhongnanhai, only to be ambushed by military forces at the southern 7th Ring Road, meant as a warning shot to Xi himself. The tunnel was suspected to be the chosen ambush point. Public opinion boiled over. Official channels remained mute. Meanwhile, reality on the ground was undeniable. Traffic jams lasted until dawn, police cars, ambulances, and recovery vehicles poured into the tunnel. The road section remained closed for 2 days, and Lishui County Hospital confirmed it had admitted the injured. Yet the one thing missing was still the same, an official explanation. It was as if the public were watching a political thriller with no narrator, only smoke. If it were merely an accident, the media silence would be more deadly than the incident itself. If it were not an accident, then Beijing's night was far darker than imagined. On the 5th day after the explosion, details emerged that sent chills down people's spines. The narrow tunnel amplified the blast. Flames rebounded and intensified the shockwave. Dozens of vehicles were swallowed as if dragged into the earth by fire, reduced to wreckage within seconds. Dozens were killed or injured. According to insiders, Kai Chi and Wang Xiaohong quickly organized on-site inspections. Soon afterward, a classified report containing 3 key conclusions was delivered to Xi Jinping. The report was explosive. First, background. The suspect allegedly came from Xinjiang, with indications of foreign forces. The report questioned how such a vehicle could pass multiple security checkpoints and military garrisons to enter a core zone near Beijing. Second, physical evidence. Investigators recovered remnants, not belonging to the vehicle itself, including bladed weapons, indicating clear premeditation. Third, the target. Multiple members of Xi Jinping's security entourage were killed or injured. This led to a chilling conclusion: this looked more like a decapitation-style strike aimed at the top leadership. According to sources, upon reading the report, Xi Jinping turned pale, his teeth chattering, and immediately evacuated with Peng Liyuan to an underground air raid shelter beneath Zongnanhai, where they remained for 2 full days and nights. Inside the sealed bunker, she reportedly became extremely unstable, slamming tables repeatedly and concluding that Zhang Yoxia was behind the attack, pointing directly at the military. In Xi's view, only Zhang Yoxia, who controls real military power, along with the elder factions backing him, had both the audacity and the capability to carry out such a precise strike in Beijing. Outside, Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao sent messages of concern. She reportedly sneered privately, a weasel paying respects to a chicken. She allegedly ordered Kai Chi to prepare custom-made bulletproof vests and protective gear, demanding that they never leave his body. Xi's retreat underground left party and government operations effectively paralyzed. Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao twice urged Xi to reappear and preside over affairs, but both times were rebuffed on the same grounds: fear of another assassination attempt. Wang Huning's advice sounded more like a warning: do not publicly provoke Zhang Yoxia or the elders without solid proof, lest the situation spiral out of control. Facing a stalemate, Hu Jintao ultimately sent in a handwritten note. According to sources, it read: if the chairman continues to refuse to appear and cooperate with work, then younger comrades led by Hu Chunhua will temporarily assume relevant duties. Please consider carefully. This final ultimatum forced Xi Jinping out of the bunker to attend the ceremony promoting new PLA generals. Unexpectedly, as the outside world debated whether the tunnel explosion was an attempted decapitation strike, another interpretation emerged, one that completely reversed the story. Some claimed this was not an attack on Xi at all. On the contrary, it was a purge personally arranged by Xi Jinping himself. A conspiracy? A counterstrike? Or a political sacrifice in a factional struggle? Leaked photos from the scene circulated widely: vehicles burned beyond recognition, the tunnel scorched as if licked by fire, described as a place where not even cells remained. Many in the public believe this was the most terrifying explosion in China since the Tianjin blasts. Authorities spared no effort to suppress information, issuing emergency orders to all platforms banning any mention of the Southern 7th Ring Road explosion. What raised even more suspicion was the presence of numerous military vehicles among the wreckage: luxury Mercedes, Toyotas, and Prados favored by the PLA. If this were merely a civilian accident, such extreme secrecy would be unnecessary. Looking back at the Zhengzhou-Jingguang Road tunnel flood disaster years ago, despite horrific casualties, footage of vehicle recovery and evacuation still leaked out. By comparison, although casualties in the 7th Ring explosion appeared lower, information control was far stricter. Clearly, something far deeper was at play. Rumors claimed the explosion site had been deliberately chosen because an Air Force senior command convoy was passing that location at the time. New leaks suggested the blast was a precision purge personally commanded and deployed by Xi Jinping, targeting a certain Air Force deputy commander. The fuse of the incident was traced to the sudden death of Chang Dingqiu, the youngest full general, born in 1969. Once a protege personally promoted by Xi, Chang reportedly died under abnormal circumstances while under investigation amid internal military power struggles. Leaks claimed Chang was a rival of the deputy commander. Chang aligned with Xi, while the deputy was a key ally of Zhang Yoxia. Enraged by Chang's death, Xi allegedly set up a kill zone in the 7th Ring Road tunnel, using the explosion to eliminate Zhang's Air Force deputy and entourage, both as revenge and as a warning. Thus, the southern 7th Ring Road became a moving political altar, not targeting Xi himself, but Zhang Yoxia's right-hand men. With this version, the entire story grew even more opaque. What outsiders thought was a decapitation attempt became Xi Jinping's purge operation. Which version is true? At present, it cannot be verified. Dual script: handshakes above, knives below. Ironically, less than a week after the explosion, Xi Jinping and Zhang Youxia appeared together again, jointly presiding over the promotion of new generals. On camera, both looked calm, reading speeches, pinning medals. This is the unique aesthetic of CCP infighting: outward harmony, inward blades drawn. Veteran CCP leader Chen Yun once established a rule called "fight without breaking," avoid killing top figures so future generations can still face each other. The result is that while top leaders remain untouched, commanders, chiefs of staff, and deputy commanders become expendable consumables. Why has there been no official report? Because every version is terrifying. If it was a failed assassination, it exposes fatal security flaws. If it was internal counter-killing, it means power struggles have broken all rules. If it was an accident, then Beijing's first line of stability defense has collapsed. For Zhang Nanhai, none of these versions can be spoken aloud. Everyone must pass the checkpoint, military purge begins. As the smoke from the seventh ring explosion lingered, a chilling phrase spread through Beijing's military circles: everyone must pass the check. The strangest development was the collective silence of the armed police leadership. First, Political Commissar Wang Chuning was officially announced as fallen. Then another commissar, Zhang Hongbing, disappeared for a year. Only acting commander Chao Junzhang remained. At the December 22 promotion ceremony, those who should have appeared did not. Representing the armed police were two lieutenant generals instead, Peng Jingtang of the Hong Kong garrison and Lieutenant General Wang Hongbin. Veteran soldiers remarked, when a service's top leader is missing from such a ceremony, the problem is serious. These lieutenant generals were like temporary light bulbs, no one knows how long they will stay lit. Commentators joked, the CCP military is now held up by lieutenant generals, while full generals await judgment. Independent commentator Du Zheng said he heard internally that all officers must account for themselves, quietly purging the lingering influence of Miao Hua and He Weidong. Some commented on the promotion ceremony: the rank of full general has been wiped out, only 4 remain standing before the cameras. If the seventh ring tunnel explosion marked the opening clash of factional collision, then the sweeping military review is the clearing operation afterward. Who is one of us? Who belongs to the other side? Who is a fence-sitter? Who harbors old debts? Regardless of who is investigated, one thing is unmistakable: the entire military's rhythm has fallen into disorder. In this storm that began in a tunnel, spread into Zongnanhai, and engulfed the armed forces, what we see are not answers, but more questions. Official silence. Military tremors. Internet censorship. Endless leaks. Every version sounds unbelievable, yet the fear and bloodshed behind each version feel disturbingly real. What comes next? No one knows. But one thing is certain: that winter night explosion in Beijing was only one scene in a long script. The real storm is still quietly gathering. We will continue to follow China's story. And we invite you to tell us in the comments, among these versions, what do you see?